There you are. You look really good today. Just want to let you know that. Good looking guy. Or girl. Or, I don't know, maybe alien. Which I assume have genders also. I don't want to discriminate. I am American Jesus, and these are my opinions that I talk about. Opinions about 12-step fellowships such as Narcotics Anonymous, Alcoholics Anonymous, Cocaine Anonymous. I always find it funny that Cocaine Anonymous is so intense. Because it's Cocaine Anonymous. Cocaine. I mean, I don't know. I was a stoner 22 years ago. And the cocaine people really got on my fucking nerves because they were just too intense. Today I want to talk about anonymity. Anonymity is a huge problem in these fellowships. The fact that they have anonymous in the name, first off, is misleading because you're not really anonymous. There have been court cases where people have been brought in to testify against members of meetings. So you're not really anonymous. There's no, people could be videotaping you and filming you and recording you nowadays, especially with the fact that you can have a microphone that is so tiny, or I have a pair of headsets that you can actually wear that have microphones on them. And if I just left them around my neck, nobody would know I was recording the entire meeting. Especially if someone came in and was like, hey man, I'd like to just break into people's houses and steal stuff and then rape all the people in there with their dogs. Anonymity, first off, is misleading. Secondly, is unnecessary. I've always been upfront with employers that I worked with, and I have no shame about any of these perceived deficiencies. I don't see addiction as a deficiency. I don't see alcoholism as a deficiency. My brain just works different from other people's. And to be honest with you, I think that it works better in a lot of ways than most people's because I talk to these peoples and they're not really of the smarts. So, and they're not curious and they have a hard time putting things together logically. And I believe that some of that ability is a manifestation of my disease, superpower. I called addiction a superpower for a long time. I still call it a superpower when I work with people because I'm like, we'll go over that in a different time. Maybe I'll talk about it tonight. But, so the anonymity really isn't needed. The people who actually use it are people who could probably, stand to be a little bit more honest in their dealings with society at large, and they're generally trying to play people, and they don't want to have any perceived weaknesses out there that could be exploited against them because they're highly manipulative in their business dealings with others. And they know that if they had information like that on a prospective client, that they would definitely utilize it to their benefit. So, but I do believe that anonymity is terrible because I have been to meetings where I've been just looking up sex offenders online, and there were sex offenders in the meetings that were dating women that nobody knew, and I didn't tell anybody because, this was a while ago, because I brought it up to somebody and I was like, should we tell people that he's a registered sex offender and that I don't know the particulars and I don't know what was going on, but does a woman that's dating a registered sex offender that's been to prison for the crime that he was convicted of, does he have a responsibility, or does the group have a responsibility to let people know? That anonymity limits the ability for people to make decisions. Kind of makes it difficult for them to protect themselves in groups full of drug addicts and felons, which is problematic. So the fact that we have this anonymity kind of idea that underlies everything we do is suspect, because it puts people in tremendous danger. Remember, we had another group that I went to that turns out that one of the guys that was going to the meeting was definitely had been certified as insane. He had killed his girlfriend and hung her in his apartment, and somehow he had been released after being found fixed and had been put on his medication, which he was no longer taking. And so, but he's going to these meetings, and that was the one time, I was in pretty good shape, but I remember he was acting crazy. And so I went to grab him because he was going to hit somebody at the meeting. And that was when I learned what crazy strong is. Crazy strong is a real thing. He did not look strong, but man, was he strong. Motherfucker, if he wanted to kill you, you were dead. Because first off, you'd never see it coming. He was some nice old guy that went to the meetings with us. And unless you knew his history, he would have that knife through you, or he would have you knocked unconscious before you even had the ability to attempt to stop him. And even if you had the ability to attempt to stop him, you would have a hard time stopping him. So, I think anonymity is a terrible thing for the fellowships. I think they should not be anonymous. Therapy's not anonymous. If you were convicted of certain behaviors, or you're doing certain behaviors, legally you have to report these individuals. If you're part of a group therapy setting, you have to inform everybody of the particulars of anybody that's in that group with you, if they have anything on their record or in their past that might be problematic. Anonymity. No. You are not anonymous. And you shouldn't be anonymous. What are you afraid of? I need to know what you're capable of. And not just what you're willing to share with me or the group. But yeah. Like, subscribe, comment if you wish, and those were my opinions.
Kid, other side is something big. Do you think that what you did would bring you back to this?